Pokemon presents Pokemon Legends Z to A, I'm pretty sure. We're going to find out what the game is like, and also the release date, I'm sure. Both of which is information I am very much interested in finding out. Like, can you believe it has been an entire year before Pokemon Legends Z to A was announced? And then, nothing. I guess the only reason that they announced it so long in advance is because nothing Pokemon related happened last year otherwise, aside from some TV show announcements, but I don't know how many people were paying attention to those. Otherwise, no game announcements. It was a surprisingly quiet year on that front. Does this mean that Game Freak is actually taking their time with their games now? That would be nice. Also, this presentation is 19 minutes long, it looks like. I heard that they talk about other stuff. I don't know how much interest I will have in the other stuff. If not, we can skip to the main event. Kinda drawing it out, I will say that. However, kind of a fun opening, all things considered.
Hello everyone, I'm Ishihara from the Pokémon Company. Today, February 27, is Pokémon Day. This is the date the Pokémon Red and Pokémon Green games were first released in Japan, marking the beginning of the Pokémon series.
Memories.
It's been 29 years since the birth of Pokémon.
And now I feel
and we've
old.
reached this milestone through the support of all you trainers around the world. Thanks to all of you, it's now possible to enjoy Pokémon each day in a variety of ways.
But not on NSO.
We hope to keep bringing you new experiences to brighten your day-to-day lives with Pokémon. In today's broadcast, we'll be sharing all the latest news about Pokémon, including our newest titles.
They have like a year's worth of news to go over at this point. So about that NSO.
It's the Netflix series Pokémon Concierge.
Oh yeah,
Taking place
speaking
at
of
the
TV
Pokémon
shows.
resort on a tropical island, the story follows Haru, who is still finding her feet as a new concierge, and Psyduck as they grow
I
together through
don't
their
really
travels
have
through
Netflix,
the
so
Pokémon games.
probably will
Its
never
charm
watch
lies
this.
in the warm visuals that can be achieved only through stop-motion animation.
It does look
And
cute
new
though.
episodes of Pokémon Concierge
I would
are in
definitely
production.
watch it if I
They are
had the
slated for
opportunity.
release in September 2025. What sort of Pokémon will Haru and Psyduck welcome as guests next? Take a first look at a few of the Pokémon they will meet in this motion test footage. Just look at the personality and how they move.
Fluffy!
But there's more. For a limited time, the first 4 episodes are available to watch on Pokémon's official YouTube channel for free. Please take this
Well,
chance
I can
to
at least watch
if you
those.
haven't been able to tune in to Pokémon Concierge yet. And we hope you look forward to the new episodes as well.
Personal space, please.
I'm Utsunomiya from the Pokémon Company. Next, we have a number of other announcements to share with you.
Oh gosh.
In Pokémon Go Tour Unova.
Anybody remember
March
Nick
1st
Jr.?
and March 2nd.
That
This event
character
can be enjoyed
face?
at no cost from anywhere in the world where Pokémon
That
Go is
character
available. During
reminded
the
me
event,
of
the
that a
legendary
bit.
Pokemon Black Kyurem and White Kyurem will appear in raid battles and elsewhere. Also, trainers will soon have a chance to encounter Victini.
I have played
and Shiny
Pokemon Go
Mellow
for all of 5
We'll also
minutes.
share promo codes for everyone to enjoy. We hope you're looking forward to the new season.
And probably never will play more of it. Simulated game footage. Is this an actual cool thing, or is it more like a cell phone thing? Yeah, I'm guessing a cell phone thing. Yeah, Pokemon Masters EX. Anything that is related to cell phone gaming, I'm not going to be interested in, because I don't really do much in the way of cell phone gaming. So, let's just go ahead and skip ahead to when we're not talking about cell phone stuff. Sorry to fans of things like Pokemon Cafe. It does look like a cute game, at least.
Next, allow me to share some news about the Pokemon video game series.
And we're back.
In the Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet games, we're
And
celebrating
I'm not
Pokemon Day
interested.
with a Rotom phone case giveaway.
I'm sorry, but I got bored with this game. Nothing happened.
Along with a mass outbreak event
And that's
other
kind of why
events to come.
I'm more interested in Pokemon Legends Z to A. Pokemon Legends Arceus,
Skeletor
stuff happened.
will appear in a series
And
of
it was fun to
battle
explore.
events.
So, don't suppose we're getting the original games on NSO now. Or is this one of those retro trailers that talks about all the Pokemon games again? You did this last year. Although this trailer definitely has a different vibe to it. This trailer is more hip. I'm going to assume that this music is not copywritten. If it is, I should probably be talking over it more. Effects added, not actual gameplay footage. Oh, that's a shame, because those are some pretty nifty... Oh, gosh! Water effects, sweat effects, I was going to say. Someday Pokemon is actually going to be like this. But probably not for a long time. Pokemon Champions? For Switch and smartphones. Alright, so it's a smartphone game again. Well, maybe it's...
You've just seen is the world's first glimpse of a new title, Pokemon Champions.
Is it like a Pokemon Stadium
Title will
game?
be focused on the Pokemon battles you know and love from core Pokemon games.
Yeah, it's a Pokemon Stadium game.
Pokemon Champions will continue the tradition of pitting your
Which...
skills against those of other trainers.
Are Pokemon Stadium games necessary nowadays?
For these core style battles to be enjoyed
I mean, on
by
Nintendo
all
64, it made sense to just have a Pokemon game about
Free,
battling,
developer of the core
but
games, is
that
carrying
was
out the planning
on
for
Nintendo 64.
development
They couldn't
being
put a
handled by
full
Pokemon
Pokemon adventure on the Nintendo
Pokemon
64.
Champions will be coming not only to the Nintendo Switch family of systems, but to mobile devices too. You'll be able to choose
But
how
then
you want to
Pokemon
play based on where
Colosseum
you are.
happened on GameCube, which showed
Also connect with
they could
Pokemon
have
Home.
more than just battles.
Connectivity.
We can have adventures on home
Choose
consoles
the
now.
Pokemon you can partner up with in Pokemon Champions.
So,
You'll be able to team up with Pokemon who joined you on your adventures in previous Pokemon games. We hope you're looking forward to battling Pokemon trainers from all corners of the world.
I mean, can't we do that in the mainline games?
Regarding the launch date of Pokemon Champions. Next, we'd like to share some information.
You better give me reason to actually be excited about that.
Will be available in. Mr. Tomás Cortijo, please take it away.
Saludos a todos desde la nueva oficina de Pokémon en la hermosa Ciudad de México.
Hello from America.
Director regional para Latinoamérica de The Pokémon Company International. El día de hoy estoy muy feliz de anunciarles que Pokémon Champions estará disponible en español latinoamericano desde el día de su lanzamiento.
Are the Pokemon games not normally?
Idiomas que los entrenadores y entrenadoras pueden elegir. Leyendas Pokémon ZA tendrá también la opción de jugarse en español latinoamericano. Esto significa que de aquí
I'm guessing not, because they're making a big deal out of this.
Finalmente, como ya anunciamos con anterioridad, las futuras expansiones del famoso juego de cartas coleccionables de Pokémon estarán también disponibles en español de Latinoamérica.
Wow,
Localizar
Latin
productos
Americans
de
have been missing out
en
apparently.
español latinoamericano permitirá que millones de nuevos fans se unan a la comunidad global de Pokémon y se conecten con
Must have
los
made for some
jugadores
interesting
de formas
bootleg
nunca
translations.
antes vistas. Como parte de The Pokémon Company Group, este es un claro ejemplo de nuestra misión de unir al mundo a través de Pokémon. Saber que los fans disfrutan aún más de jugar Pokémon en su idioma local nos permite explorar nuevas formas para deleitar a los jugadores de diferentes regiones y mercados como Latinoamérica. Este es un momento
Pokemon's gonna take
increíble
over the
para ser
world.
fan de Pokémon, sin importar en qué parte del mundo te encuentres.
Again.
Por lo que no puedo esperar para unirme a todos ustedes en sus próximas aventuras. Nos vemos pronto.
Finally, here's the latest update.
Alright, here we go. How far in are we? Oh wow, really? We're that far into the video already? Whatever. Does not reflect actual gameplay experience. Nice outfits. I'm looking forward to just going around the world and seeing Pokemon hanging about again. Okay, I know my starter. Of course I'm going to go with the pig starter. Oh, neat. Climbing on buildings. You could climb on some buildings in Scarlet and Violet some, but a little hover up thing? That's kind of neat. Mega Evolutions are back, of course. This is based on the region where Mega Evolutions were introduced. Safe to say, by the way, this is still going to be a Switch 1 release. This does not look next gen. Okay, how do you pronounce this again? Somebody pronounce it. I think they did.
Legends ZA is a new title
Okay,
in
it's
the Pokemon
ZA, not
The
Z2A.
story takes place in Lumio City, the largest city in the Kalos region. Prism Tower stands tall at the center of this city of beautiful vistas. These days, Lumio
I'm gonna have
is
another
undergoing a
evolution.
high-tech urban
Different one this
redevelopment
time.
plan to turn it into a city that people and Pokemon truly share. After you arrive in Lumio City to see the sights, you'll meet 3 Pokemon, one of which will become your first partner: Chikorita, Tepig, and Totodile.
I never actually beat Black and White, so having a fresh opportunity to train Tepig will be really nice.
Here are some of the colorful characters you'll encounter.
Also,
When you
using
arrive in
Tepig
Lumio,
in
you'll
Black
meet
and White, I
Blue
felt
Friend
kind of
and
punished
Twilight,
for it.
either
Because it's like,
or Tawny.
not many
The
Pokemon
hotel
can
where
learn
you'll stay
Waterfall,
is run by
so I
Endslate.
feel obligated
You'll also
to
meet his partner, Floette.
use
Lumios's redevelopment
Oshawott
is being managed
for the
by
sake of
Quasar
having a
Cody.
Pokemon with
You'll
Waterfall.
become acquainted with the company's CEO Jet and her secretary Vinny.
Vinny, huh?
Different people you meet will
Kinda
make
looked
your
like a
time in
Vinny.
Lumios all the richer. To help people and Pokemon coexist, the city has set up wild zones. These areas, located throughout Lumios, give wild Pokemon habitats where they can thrive. To catch one of these wild Pokemon, aim carefully, then throw a
Yep, this is
Pokeball.
Pokemon Legends, alright.
If you're having a hard time catching one, have one of your Pokemon
I may or may not
positioned
train a
in the
Flaffy
target,
again.
making it easier to catch.
I started training one in Pokemon Scarlet, but, well,
This game
never
offers a
finished the
style of
playthrough, so
Pokemon
I
battle
want
not
another
seen
chance
in
at one,
previous
maybe.
titles. Moves can have a longer or shorter reach, or different areas of effect.
Wait!
Choose your time
Oh my
for
gosh!
positioning
They can move
to get
around!
the upper hand.
Alright, Pokemon Legends was already kind of advanced where
Meet your partner
Pokemon were
do
battling
battles and dodge
on the
incoming
field
attacks.
that you encounter the
Swap
Pokemon
if you
are,
need to and find
but the fact
right
that they
moment to
actually move
unleash your
around,
move.
that is a tiny Onix.
What's more, certain Pokemon can go beyond evolution by undergoing Mega Evolution.
I get the feeling this game is not going to have
When a
realistic
trained
Pokemon
Pokestone
sizes,
resonates with the Megastone held by their Pokemon,
which would make sense for the sake
Pokemon
of
can
allowing the
morph into
Pokemon to
different
freely move around during fights.
It'll unlock a new level of power, turning the tide of battle in its favor.
How turn-based are the fights going to be?
As Lumiose continues its
Because I don't mind them being taking turns,
Pokemon,
but I know a lot of people are also wanting more real-time fights.
Pokemon Legends ZA.
Pokemon Legends
Coming
late
2025.
2025. So don't even have a real release date yet. I'm gonna need to decide what to be doing up till that point, in regards to Let's Plays. I briefly considered getting my playthrough of Pokemon Legends 1 edited and putting that in my primary schedule, but that would end up being a really long playthrough. It would be 200 episodes long, so I don't know whether I'll actually get to that this year. I have other stuff I would like to do. For the kids. Alright, let's go ahead and go back through that. I want to take a second look at some of this stuff. So, entirely taking place in the city, and was wondering how that would work in regards to, like, wild areas, but I guess that kind of answers that question. So it's still going to be segmented then, like Pokemon Legends was, not truly open world like Pokemon Scarlet was, which I'm kind of okay with that. I don't think that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet were open-worlded very well, because the game is designed in the way where you have two different directions you can go, and both directions are valid, but if you focus on just one direction, you become too overpowered for the other direction. So I would wind up going back and forth, and in a way, didn't really feel like I was making much progression. It would have definitely helped had the games been tailored so that opponents level up as you went, so that it didn't matter which direction you went, the gameplay would be balanced regardless. I have an idea of what sort of Pokemon I might train on this adventure, but I'm also probably going to want to choose some Pokemon that are different. I like to mix things up whenever I do new playthroughs of games, try out Pokemon I haven't tried out before. Although in the case of this game, like I said, there's some Pokemon appearing in this game that were in games I hadn't finished before, and so I'm definitely going to take the opportunity to have a second chance at training certain Pokemon. Like maybe Frou-Frou. I have Sun and Moon, but I never actually played through that one all the way, so another chance at Frou-Frou would be nice. By the way, it just occurred to me that the starters of this game are not as creatively varied as the starters from Legends Arceus. Chikorita and Totodile are both Gen 2 starters. Meanwhile, the third Gen 2 starter was Cyndaquil, which I am assuming is not here solely because it was already the starter of Legends Arceus. I mean, I can't complain too much, I get to train Tepig, but it still would have been nice to have that variety that we had in Legends Arceus. What is the deal with the title anyway? I figured it might have something to do with unknown, but we haven't seen any unknown in this. There's a Nurse Joy in there. So this is a Pokemon Center right here. Pokemon Legends Arceus didn't have those. You were basically healed at camps whenever you rested at a tent, and anytime you headed back to Jubilife Village. But now we're back in modern times, which incidentally probably means we won't be isekai'd again. Although, who knows, maybe we will. Maybe we'll be sucked into a TV again, like in Pokemon Let's Go. But if there's Pokemon centers, that probably means that we won't be automatically healed whenever we wander back out of the wild areas and into town proper. I will say, when it comes to city explorations in video games, I tend to lose interest because spending so long just wandering around the same place, it's boring. I want to move on to new locations. But with this place being hopefully varied in its locations, I mean, this looks pretty neat. So, having the entire game take place in a city in this case probably will still be very interesting. I mean, there's some interesting looking spots here and there, gotta say. Not to mention, like I said before, being able to see Pokemon wandering around again. Pokemon games have always had Pokemon that you can find just hanging out in towns on occasion with their trainers, but it feels like that was starting to become more prominent with Pokemon Legends and also in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, where Pokemon were starting to feel like they were real, like they were an actual part of the world, rather than static bits of scenery that you could barely interact with. So I'm definitely looking forward to being in a world where Pokemon are just a part of life. I mean, look at this. I just want to hang out with these Pokemon for a few minutes. I mean, I'd probably be covering my nose the whole time, but... Yeah, by the way, I am not one of the people who hates Trubbish. I actually think is a very cute Pokemon. I definitely want to train one of those. Now, that said, I want to be careful not to reveal too many of the Pokemon I'm interested in training. But if it's anything like Pokemon Legends and Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Let's Go, I'm probably not going to stick with a static team of 6. There's just too many Pokemon I would like to train. That said, I'm not going to reveal any others I'm interested in training. I look forward to wearing different outfits. Scarlet and Violet was very disappointing with the outfit changes. I mean, I get it, you're wearing a school uniform, but... New friend or ally, no longer a rival, huh? That's fine. Calling them rivals was pretty much a misnomer at this point. Really, I don't think we have had a true rival since Gen 2. I mean, Hop really tried to make himself a rival, but, he was a tryhard. So I'm guessing in this case, which rival we get depends on what gender we are. I'm going to have a fun time trying to pronounce that word. But that makes me wonder, are we going to have voice acting? Probably not. That seems like a bit too much to expect from Pokemon. I'm sure people will still want to expect it. Like, modern day gaming, how could there not be voice acting? We've had voice acting in RPGs since Final Fantasy X on the PlayStation 2. Games can hold a lot more data nowadays. Which is funny to think, these are game cartridges, and they can hold more memory than DVDs. Still though, in this day and age, I'm just kind of used to Nintendo games not having voice acting. I mean, they gave it a shot with Mario Sunshine. That didn't really work too well. So if these wild zones are numbered, that's probably going to dictate what areas we can go into. Probably have to rank up in order to access different ones. I like that the wild areas are still in cities. It's like nature has taken over in a way, and that's kind of neat. I am totally for that vibe. Okay, I'm watching this. So there might be some sort of ATB sort of system in place. Yeah, there's a charge time. I just saw it. So it's not completely turn-based. It's not using Pokemon Legends battle system, where it's still completely turn-based, just turn order was determined by speed and what moves you use. Rather, it's definitely going to be a more action-y battle system. I'll admit I will probably kind of miss the old turn-based format. I definitely liked how Pokemon Legends Arceus did it. But it's still kind of still an RPG at the very least. It's not like an action game where you're mashing the attack button. But we'll see how it actually plays out, whether I actually enjoy a battle system like this or not. Because I really do enjoy the classic turn-based RPGs. Not just with Pokemon, but turn-based battles in general. Like Dragon Quest and old Final Fantasy and RPG Maker. Still though, I'm definitely excited to play it. As for the timing, late 2025. I'm actually kind of glad that it is going to release that late in the year. Because here's the thing, with my Let's Plays, I just finished up a long chain of developer requests, which means this year I'm free to kind of do what I want and post some variety. And if Pokemon Legends ZA released, like, in the summer, I'm not sure that I would have been ready to jump into a lengthy Pokemon adventure so soon. I want to do some shorter playthroughs. Now, how much shorter they will be kind of depends on how lengthy the games I want to do are. But considering how long Pokemon Legends Arceus took me, Pokemon Legends ZA is likely to be just as long. So just about anything I pick will be shorter than that. With that said, once we do get to the release of Pokemon Legends ZA, by that point, sure, I might actually be willing to Let's Play it when it releases. And by the way, I can't help but notice that there was no mention of a Switch 2 release, which, yeah, doesn't really surprise me. A big game like this has probably already been in development for quite a while, especially with a brand new battle system. They're not really going to have much opportunity to convert it to Switch 2. Which is fine. I don't expect the Switch 1 to die off too quickly just because there's a successor out. The Nintendo Switch is thriving. It's not going to immediately die like the Wii U did, or even looking further back, how quickly the Nintendo 64 died when the GameCube released. No, the Switch 1 is going to live on much as the Nintendo 3DS did after the Switch 1 released. Although in that case it was a lot more annoying, because I don't do much handheld gaming. I was ready to move on to this new era of Nintendo, where there was only one system to buy, and it was a console. And a handheld, but mostly a console. With the Switch 2, though, and it being backwards compatible with Switch 1 games, there's definitely no rush. We can still have some Switch 1 games. And who knows, maybe Pokemon Legends ZA will run better on the Switch 2, like a performance boost. Not sure if that's actually going to be a thing with Switch 1 games on Switch 2. But anyway, we're getting quite a bit off topic at this point, so we're going to go ahead and end this reaction video right here. If you're interested in seeing more content from me, definitely subscribe to my channel. I play a variety of content. Right now, I am in the middle of an indie game called Metamorphosis, where you get turned into a bug and discover a bug society. It's been a pretty interesting game. That playthrough is actually nearing its end right now. I'm not entirely sure what I'll be doing next, but, we'll find out here real soon. And yes, I am a pig. Why else would I be interested in training a pet pig? Oink!